Hi, it's Sarah Jane here at Natural Heating, and today I have been granted permission and invited along to come and video an Archer Challenger that Justine and Mark fitted into this lovely cottage a month ago now. It's the first one we had our hands on, and you saw it in my previous video, and now it's up and running in their home and they truly love it. So we're going to go in and take a look and see. Well, you might be having this, Justine.
Oh!
I brought you some of my homemade sourdough.
Oh my god, that is definitely what we're going to have for supper.
And some of my home smoked oil and some smoked salt. So I'll show you what that does in a minute.
Wow.
So if you open that up, I smoke it myself. And that's smoked salt with maple and applewood and wild garlic.
That smells strong. I'm going to have some olive oil and some
I'm
bread.
right into homemade sourdough, but that toasts beautifully, that stuff. I've been working on that in a year, so it's not too hard. And there's that's maple. What you to start with is we've got some nice steady logs. I like them tiny for we have them tiny for lighting. I usually use 4 of these in the bottom, 4 that size, 4 little tiny ones. See, when you cut them too big, and the weather is against you, it just takes too long to get going. So you're better having an extra layer and having 2 layers of kindling, because the 2 layers of kindling, the 2 layers of little logs and then the kindling on top just means that pile burns down quicker to heat the chimney faster.
Okay.
So especially in bad weather. So this is Justine and Mark's beautiful little Challenger. You've had it in now for what? About a month, Justine?
A month. It will be just about a month, and it is amazing.
You were bloody cold before it.
I was cold. I had nothing. I had no heating. I had nothing. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. I like to make them 6s.
Yeah, you do it however you like to do it. Yeah.
3. We make it quite simple. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to put my highlighter on now.
They're good ones. I like these ones. They're my favourite. I thought I'd just bring you a tub if the hell of it. Nice little present. Another couple of sticks on the top.
On those on the top.
Yeah. You've got plenty of wood in here. I like your wood storage besides.
Yeah.
And unlike some, at least it's stacked away from the fire when it can't catch fire. We see so many people on these stupid forums and things that I think they want to burn their house down.
No, we're not into burning it down. We've only just bought it.
Yep,
And that's it. So we open and open.
that's it. So they're dead easy to do. It never an issue to light one of these. Now I've got one in the shop. It's the easiest thing ever to use and operate.
Open to there.
That's it. Just until your logs catch.
That's as exciting as it gets.
You say, and how much fuel are you using on this now?
We probably burn
3-4 logs a night, if that.
where we were probably burning
When we had
12 to 15.
No, 8 to 12.
There's a big difference.
Yeah, massive difference.
And we love it.
It's a cracking little fire.
It is. I love the handle. The handle is so much more sense.
Yeah, it's one of those things that when we first looked at these, it looked a bit kind of industrial. And I didn't know if I actually liked it or not. But after we got them in and I lit it, that day when you said you were
hot.
Well, Justine came into the shop to see these the first day that I got this in, didn't you?
I did.
You saw it at the same time as me, and I opened the box with Justine. She's like, I want that one.
I'm having it. Well, I thought there's other people who were going to buy it.
Well, they're having one too, actually. Theirs
Oh,
goes in next week. So we might do a video of theirs as well. But it was all a case of, I wanted to burn it first to make sure we knew it was good and how it was going to handle what you were doing with it. So the one that I burned in the last video is this one. It's the one that Justine's now got in her house. Because that went in, 24 hours after I did that video?
It was.
Because you were having it straight away. So
I was having it unboxed.
I had it for half an hour and that's all I got to play with it. And I've got another one in. And Justine and Mark have had this in their house since. And you were really cold and very unhappy when we first put that in.
Who are the 2 lads who put it in? Really nice guys.
Louis and Neil from Greenfields put this in.
Yeah.
Who are local HETAS engineers.
And they were brilliant. They were good as well.
Yeah, they are. They are good guys and they do a good job. And it looks lovely on there. But it is so easy to just light this stove. It's like no work at all. You literally just light it and it goes. It doesn't ever give us any trouble. But the control on it is fabulous. So easy.
So simple.
Even my husband can do it.
Oh dear, Mark.
The old wood burner we had a mind of its own, and you had to get used to it. This is just straightforward.
It's so simple, isn't it?
Well, they are. I mean, the handle gets warm, but it doesn't get red hot.
No, it doesn't.
No.
And the handle is one of those things that thinking that's a funny place to put a handle, but the handle is so light and easy to open.
But it closes like a German car.
It does shut like a German car.
It does. You can feel the handle close properly. It's
the only thing that I commented on that I wasn't over the top keen on, but I thought could have been better from first impressions, was the log retainer bar at the front. That I thought the log retainer bar could do with a bit of adjustment. And the good news is James is working on that.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to have a new log bar available for us shortly.
I think he should, because if you've got a slightly bigger piece of wood, it can sometimes knock the bar.
Yeah, but this is a brand new release model that's
Yeah.
just come out on the market.
But it is still amazing. And if we replace it, will be the same one.
Yeah. Well, the good news is I'm going to see James in a few days.
And it's
So I'm going to go and see James at Archer's on his farm next week, and we're going to take a closer look at some of the stoves down there and how he makes them and stuff like that. And he is working on a new wood retaining bar for the front of it that should give us better wood retention that should be able to be rolled out to all existing customers. Fingers crossed. And I'm hoping to have a look at that next week, because that was one of the things that I thought, we could probably make that a bit better. But it's a brand new unit and things evolve. And you know what? Even as it is, it's outstandingly brilliant. It's one of my favourite units in the shop, and it is just an absolute doddle to run. It takes a wee while, just when you first light a stove with the door open, to catch the kindling and then shut the door.
shut the door.
Yeah, shut the door now, and it'll start pecking away. And they heat up ever so fast, and they're really clean burning. They just don't give us any trouble. They're just dead easy to use. You've already seen what it does.
First time fire for dummies. It's a fire for idiots. It is so simple.
It is.
So
It's
easy.
the absolute dream to use. It's so easy to light.
It's clean. It's no aggravation, and anybody who's ever or never had a fire, you can do this.
Yeah, it lights. It's up to
If you can
speeding.
make Jenga, you can burn this fire. If you can do Jenga, you can definitely burn this fire. And now it's starting to do, which is just lovely.
And once you've caught the kindling and the kindling's then got down to the logs and you shut the door, it's just away, and it doesn't take any amount of time to clear off that baffle and get up to temperature. It's just so quick.
And it doesn't create very much mess.
No.
There's a minimum amount of ash.
It burns everything off. It burns it off to nothing.
Yeah, it does. It burns everything off, and what little ash there is goes through the grate into an easy pan, which is easily emptied. It's unbelievable. Probably needs cleaning properly, maybe once a week, and I'm talking 7-day week.
Yeah, because you've been using that a lot. Because when you first got this and you didn't
Yeah,
have any other heating, you were freezing.
Maybe 2 or 3 times, maybe 3 times.
And we've used it every day. We've used it every day since we've had it.
But that's what we want. We want you lighting a fire first time every time and actually enjoying it. It's nothing except a headache if they're a pain in the ass to light and you're not getting any pleasure out of it. It should be pleasurable. Be something that's your mental health in winter that you come and go, I want to light my fire. I want to enjoy it.
Yeah, it's lovely.
There is nothing nicer than a proper fire. And with the portrait picture that it creates, it's such a much bigger picture, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got a much bigger
Thing is, it's such a good balance in your fireplace opening because you've got a good amount of space either side but more height above, because what I try and say to people is you really want a portrait style stove and a portrait type fireplace opening and a landscape type stove and a landscape type opening, because you wouldn't put a portrait picture in a landscape frame and you wouldn't put a landscape picture in a portrait frame. So it's trying to balance the overall look of the fireplace with the stove within it that draws your eye in and balances your room. And that's an important thing about seeing what they look like in situ and done in a room, because it makes a massive difference.
So it's all black will go cream.
Yeah, so that
I
logo...
never noticed it other than I remember saying, oh, that's really clean, and then...
As that heats up, that bit that's at the top, that's mainly black with a little circle, that will burn off completely cream once that gets up to temperature, if you look. But the reason that fan isn't spinning yet is because that stove is still cold. There's barely any heat in that yet. See, now it will get hot, but it's a convection top, so it's panelled construction. Now that's so it can go closer to combustibles, but also pushes more heat out the front, so we're not getting the heat in the wall. I've got to merge all bits together later. So it's not pushing the heat in the walls, it's pushing the heat out into the room where we actually need it. Because what good is heat in walls? You want to feel it in your room. You haven't got a very big room in here, but there is open areas to other doorways.
Yes.
So does it go through your kitchen into your living room?
Well,
What
does the heat? It can do, but we choose not to. We run that now at quite a low output for heat because we've now got other heating as well with the radiators, but that can heat in here and our kitchen and into the sitting room if we want to.
But that's the thing, because this stove has so much control on it and can run from as low as 3 kilowatt to about 7 kilowatt heat output. So that's like 3 to 7 radiators. It's powerful.
It is. We don't run it high at all, do we? We run it quite low.
We like it on as much as anything else, as opposed to.
Well, it's the fire view. It's your mental health in winter. It's that joy and glow and warmth and clean glass and easy control. And they're really, really easy to control. So it's all about how much fuel you put in the door. If you want more heat, put more logs in it. And if you don't, put less in it. Put as little as possible. As little as you need for the heat output you need out. And it's dead easy. But
this is really burning now.
Yeah, that's it. Caught and getting up to speed. Now that bottom layer of little logs is caught. She's rollicking away. And if I drop down in height, and that way around, you will probably see that baffle is really starting to clear. Not doing this very easily. The baffle is actually starting to clear more in the inside. But a minute or two, that'll be right back to being really cream and clear.
And is that because that's burnt off?
Basically, as your stove is getting up to temperature, that's lined out in vermiculite, which is insulated to 1200 degrees centigrade in the inside. It's a volcanic material, so it's throwing all the heat forward into your room. We don't want a stove that's going like a bonfire. We want a rolling flame, but we also want it hot enough to start with, to get it hot, to get that firebox hot. So you can probably see, I don't want to open the door on it yet, you can, but I don't want to. You can actually see the pattern in the inside on the baffle with what's clear and what isn't. And the rest of the firebox and the glass is all squeaky clean, but that will all go back to being cream in the next few minutes as that's burning down. And that is still our kindling fire. And if you can see from the top, that is still the kindling. If I zoom in, when we put it on the top, it stays there. You put it in the bottom, it gets crushed by the logs, and the weight of the logs as the logs drop. So it's all about getting as much heat up that chimney as fast as possible. But it's looking lovely on that fireplace.
It sits beautifully, and I know when we came and spoke to you, and you said to me, I know what's going to fit, I know what's going to work. And we looked at so many other things and we had it so wrong because...
And I pulled it out of the warehouse. I know what works, yeah.
You knew exactly what works within the space that we had. And
you can just see it. When you know what you've got and you're used to putting them in, you just see it. But that's...
It's your job. You are the expert. You are the messiah of the fireworks. My husband would tell anybody that will listen.
Oh, God.
Anybody that will listen. It is brilliant.
It's good fun, I enjoy it. But the most important thing is that I help you guys all get it right. It's the biggest part of your home, and it's the one thing you want to come home and be lighting it and loving it, enjoying it. And it doesn't matter what it costs. If it's not right, it's still wrong and still a waste of money. We've got to get it just right.
It wasn't expensive.
It isn't for what it is. For what it is and for what it does.
Yes, you can buy something cheaper, but then if you buy cheap once, you're going to buy again.
It's worth every penny.
I'm not telling you this, but I would have paid more money for it. But you didn't hear me say that.
It's not even just that, Justine. We treat everybody the same. I don't care who you are when you come in my shop and where you're from. Everybody gets the same service. Everybody gets the same treatment.
I came into your shop and had a tantrum.
You did come in my shop and have a tantrum. We're not going to get on here. You did actually, to be fair. You came in and then we didn't get off to the best start.
She told me I couldn't have something, and not many people are brave enough to say that. But I now have the perfect fire. So that's all that we can say.
And we do now get on like a stove on fire.
A stove on fire wheel.
Yeah, we made up over that one, but I'm a bit bold.
And a cake. And the cake.
There's always cake.
And the cake.
I was bullshit enough to go, no, that won't work. But you've always got to say, because it won't work, because it doesn't matter how much money you've got to spend, or as little money as you've got to spend, it's just got to be right. And there's no point doing it if it's wrong. So,
don't tell her, but she got it right.
I always do my best for people, even if it's at my detriment, because it's not about selling people something, it's about making it right and making it perfect. And
This is.
you know, it's
It's
crucial.
Stand.
Yeah, so it's really cleaning up now.
It is, yeah.
And the logs were packed more to one side than the other, which is
They
fine
were,
because
yes.
you do skew them in, so that's why it burns evenly, but that's why it's cleared more on one side than the other side first. But it's now squeaky clean on one side, and the other side is
Yeah,
nearly there.
the bigger logs were off to the left, weren't they?
Yeah,
when I
which
put
is
them
why
on.
you've got the more fire view
Yeah.
on there now. Do you want to balance it up?
Do you want me to do what?
You have a go. You're
want me
used to
put-
using her.
Well, yeah, I'm just going to put my wood on and do my thing now.
You don't need to put any more wood
don't
on
need
yet.
to,
It's
you just want me
nowhere
to-
near needing more wood on, Justin.
Okay, so I'm going to turn her down a touch. It's very warm there.
That's it. That's
So
nice.
I just there. That's
So you've
it.
got a nice rolling flame, and as that
Yeah.
burns down, the whole point now is there's ages, there's probably another 20 minutes burning in that fuel on those tiny little logs that we put in, and they've been in 25 minutes? Half an
Nearly
hour?
half an hour.
Nearly
I
half
say
an
that's
hour.
half an hour. And
So-
it's just,
And they were only tiny little 2.5 inch diameter pieces, 4 of them, plus the kindling. And the kindling's still there. When you get it right, it's all about getting that pressure up the chimney and getting your fire up to temperature. And after that,
but the fire itself makes the whole thing so simple.
it does.
The
It's just,
simplicity of being able to light the fire and close the door.
I have to say, since the first time I used this, and I did do it in the video when I did it from the first time I lit this, I couldn't believe how easy it was, and it beats most things into the dust, to be perfectly honest, because it is ridiculously easy to use and balance. And I loved it from the first minute I bought it. I brought it in and lit it, and it was Justine's stove then. And I remember phoning you up that night, going, "You're going to so love this because it's probably the best stove in my shop." And I still say that now. It is an absolute dream to use, and if you like the look of it, fair enough. If you don't, it's probably one of these things that might grow on you because it grew on me. Because from a photograph,
Initially, when you look at it, you could think to yourself, it's too modern.
and it's too industrial. And the more I looked at it and the more I played with it, the more I fell in love with it.
It's got rounded edges on it. It's very, very soft as a solid unit.
James has actually got a lot to tell us about those edges and the amount of work he puts into doing those edges that way, because he's put a lot of effort into getting that stove the way that it is now. And the challenger has challenged him, but I tell you what, he's knocked this out of the ballpark, because this is just an incredible unit. And I'm really looking forward to see what else he makes over the next year or so.
It blends industrial and
Modern.
and even traditional.
But
into
when
one
you
unit.
actually see it in a fireplace opening, it's actually quite understated. Although it gives you plenty of vision, it doesn't take over. You see the fire and it just kind of, the body sort of melts itself away and doesn't become too crazy in your face. Because some stoves are all about the outside, and that's fine if you like ornate for when it's off. But this one's clever. I can't even really explain it. It's just clever. It's clever in how it looks, and it's clever in what it does. And the handle is a stroke of brilliance. The handle's on these, and this is, oh look, the fan's just going to start moving. So those fans start at 45 degrees centigrade. So that's still not crazy hot. It's touchable. The sides are cooler than the top. I believe James is going to make another version of the same thing, but without these panels. Maybe that'll look a slightly less industrial. I'm going to see it next week, I believe.
I know, it's strange, isn't it? We've never noticed it, have we?
No, it is white. It's up to temperature now,
Yeah.
or near enough.
Just a tiny bit on the
45 degrees is when the fan starts.
45 degrees.
okay.
Yeah, so it's heating up, but it's warm in here now. It's kicking out plenty of heat.
Oh, huge heat. It's lovely.
And the handles on those, they do get warm. At the moment it's stone cold, but they don't get hot. At least mine doesn't get hot. I've never needed a glove on it, have
I
you?
don't need a glove. I've never used a glove to
Do you
open
use it? No. I've not needed glove on this so far. So the handle, they're not professing it to be a cool touch handle, but I've never needed a handle on that, even when it's burning all day.
A couple of soppy old dates really, aren't we, sat here watching the
That's what I do too. She's great fun.
It's lovely. I love
Couple
it.
soppy
I
old
never
dates.
get tired of it.
No, I don't either. I just love my fire. I don't need the telly. Well, thanks for letting me have a look at it anyway.
No, thank you.
So when do we start putting wood on it? Do you think? Are we now?
No, you're not there yet. We've got another 10 minutes.
You've probably got about another 10 minutes yet. You're not quite clear that baffle down. You could get away with it. You can open the door and put one on if you like, because that will crush down now. But that stove, under any circumstances that I've done with it, you always crack the door and give it a minute. But I've never had it smoking back, and it doesn't make lots of ash, and it's just an absolute doddle. You're going to put that bit on?
I'm going to put that on just so we can.
Just because.
Just because I can. She's probably not very neatly put on, but she's very happy.
It doesn't matter. He's quite happy with
And
anything.
have you put the
You should
settings
do.
back down?
Well, it's not really up to full temperature yet,
Oh,
so
okay.
we haven't turned down. Well, yeah, we have been fiddling with it.
Yeah.
It's not fully open.
It's quite nice actually, because the turning toggle bits, whatever they're called, are very easy, aren't they? They're literally quite small movements, but they are so responsive.
They are stupidly responsive.
Yeah.